Some individuals navigate their entire existence without encountering the profound sorrow that John Travolta has borne, whom we shall forever cherish with unwavering devotion. But for this cinematic luminary, misfortune has not merely appeared once, it has revisited repeatedly, each instance cloaked in the same soul-crushing guise: cancer. The very utterance of that word sends a shiver down one's spine. Yet, for John Travolta, it represents a persistent torment that has unfolded not just once, not twice, but on 3 distinct occasions. 3 women, 3 arduous struggles, 3 losses that would shatter most individuals. The man who captivated us with his dancing prowess in Saturday Night Fever and Grease, 2, Give Me 2, has spent decades privately wrestling with sorrow. Imagine being 23 years old, on the cusp of immense fame, and witnessing the woman you love breathe her last in your embrace. It has been this way for approximately 6 years now, so it all seems part of it. I don't really mind it anymore. Then, just as you begin to find your footing once more, your own mother succumbs to the identical affliction. Fast forward several decades, you've reconstructed your existence, rediscovered love, established a family, only for cancer to resurface yet again, claiming your wife. And that's not even accounting for the abrupt, devastating loss of your teenage son. It reads like a narrative designed for the silver screen, but this is reality. This is John Travolta's life story. Most of us recognize John as Danny Zuko, the leather-clad heartthrob, or Vincent Vega, the suave assassin. We perceive his charisma, his dazzling smile, the dance steps that defined an era. However, beneath those iconic portrayals lies a man who has confronted more anguish than any person should ever endure, the kind of pain that transforms you, molds you, compels you to choose between surrendering or forging a path forward. What elevates Jay's odyssey is not just the trials, but his management of them. No public breakdowns, no acrimonious interviews, only a quiet dignity and an open acknowledgement of grief that is now aiding others in navigating their own adversities. He has emerged as an unlikely advocate for anyone who has ever pondered how to persevere when life relentlessly removes those closest to your heart. But here is something that may surprise you. After all these intervening years, after such profound heartbreak, John Travolta is finally embarking on a journey of renewed living. At 70 years of age, he is rediscovering moments of happiness, forging new recollections with his offspring, and demonstrating to the world what true resilience embodies. Yet the question on everyone's lips is, following all that cancer has wrested from him, after surviving losses that would incapacitate the majority of people, what does the future truly hold for John Travolta? When he was merely a young man from New Jersey making his mark in Hollywood, he secured a role in a television film titled The Boy in the Plastic Bubble, portraying a teenager with a compromised immune system. It was the sort of emotionally charged drama that television networks favored, and John was perfectly suited for the part, but no one anticipated what would transpire behind the cameras. I understand. Enter Diana Hyland, a seasoned actress engaged to portray his mother in the film. She was 41 years old, he was 23, and despite the disparity in their ages, despite her role as his on-screen mother, an undeniable connection ignited between them, one neither could disregard. John was utterly infatuated from the very first day. "Gina, you move so fast. What does it feel like to move that fast? Feels like flying." Years later, he would confide in reporters that he believed he had experienced love previously, but in truth, he had not. From the instant he encountered Diana, he was drawn to her in a manner he had never previously experienced. They were, as he described, like two kindred spirits conversing incessantly on set. Within a single month, their burgeoning friendship blossomed into romance. It was an intense, passionate connection, and for the young John it felt predestined. He had found someone who comprehended him, who matched his energy, who made him feel truly alive. Diana infused a sense of sophistication and wisdom into his youthful exuberance, and together they were envisioning a shared future. However, there was an element that Diana had initially withheld from John, something that would irrevocably alter their trajectory. She had been diagnosed with breast cancer back in 1975 and had undergone a mastectomy. When they began their courtship, she held the conviction that the worst was behind her. She had every reason to believe she had triumphed over the illness and that they would have ample time to construct the life they envisioned. John was actively engaged in filming Saturday Night Fever, the movie that would catapult him to global stardom, and he and Diana were actively selecting residences, making arrangements to reside together. Marriage was a distinct possibility. Their future appeared exceptionally promising. Then Diana's health began to deteriorate with alarming rapidity. The malignancy had metastasized, and the prognosis shifted from hopeful to dire in what felt like mere moments. Diana did not confirm her impending death until approximately 2 weeks prior to its occurrence. 2 weeks to comprehend that everything you had meticulously planned, everything you had fervently hoped for, was about to be irrevocably snatched away. John immediately returned to Los Angeles to be by her side, departing from the film that would define his career. Nothing else held significance other than his presence with her. On March 27, 1977, Diana Hyland passed away in John's arms. He held her, feeling her life ebb away, and later recounted the sensation of her final breath departing. At the age of 23, John Travolta experienced a bereavement that most individuals do not confront until much later in life. He had discovered genuine, profound love, and cancer had cruciously stolen it from him. The subsequent 10 weeks were the most arduous of his life up to that juncture. He was immersed in grief, attempting to process, struggling to comprehend how life could exhibit such cruelty. But what John was unaware of, what he could not possibly have fathomed, was that this was merely the inception of cancer's persistent presence in his life. As if losing Diana were not sufficiently devastating, fate harbored another cruel blow. Merely 18 months after Diana's passing, while John was still attempting to regain his equilibrium amidst his sorrow, cancer re-entered his life through the very individual who had consistently served as his bedrock, his mother, Helen Travolta. Helen was no ordinary mother. She was the fundamental reason John pursued a career in entertainment. Born Helen Cecilia Burke, she herself had been an actress and vocalist, performing with a vocal ensemble known as the Sunshine Sisters. She had even appeared in minor roles, including a portrayal of a lady in a paint store in Saturday Night Fever, her son's breakout film. Helen served as the catalyst that ignited the passion within all 6 of her children. She instilled in them a profound love for theatre, for performance, for the arts. The Travolta household was a vibrant hub of music, drama, and creativity. Helen later transitioned into a career as a high school drama and English teacher, imparting that same fervor to countless students. However, beyond her professional impact, Helen was John's protector. He was the youngest of 6, possessing a sensitive and gentle disposition, the kind of child who required additional care and attention. Friends from his childhood recall John exhibiting a certain vulnerability, an inherent quality that inspired others to want to look after him, and Helen comprehended this better than anyone. When Helen was diagnosed with breast cancer, she made a conscious decision that would undoubtedly break your heart. She refrained from informing John immediately. She was acutely aware of the anguish her son had endured with Diana just 18 months prior. She had witnessed his grief, observed his struggle to piece his life back together, and she could not bear to compound his suffering any sooner than absolutely necessary. Helen wished to shield him, even from the reality of her own illness. Such was the nature of the mother she was. Nevertheless, eventually, she was compelled to share the news with him. And when she did, John's world imploded once more. This time, John assumed the role of caregiver. He visited his mother virtually every day, seated by her bedside, endeavoring to uplift her spirits through any means possible. And here lies a moment that is simultaneously beautiful and profoundly tragic. John would perform for his mother. He would sing, enact brief musical numbers, employing any method to bring a glimmer of light into her darkest hours. It stands as a testament to their profound connection, to the unique bond they shared through the mediums of performance and art. Yet no amount of singing could forestall the inevitable. Helen Travolta passed away on December 3, 1978, at the age of 66. Cancer had once again prevailed. For John, this left what he described as an immense void in his existence. He had now lost two of the most significant women in his life to the precise same malady, breast cancer, in less than 2 years. And as if this were not enough to contend with, his professional life was also experiencing considerable turbulence. The disco era that had propelled him to stardom was in decline. His subsequent films faltered, and critics began to question whether John Travolta was merely a fleeting phenomenon, a singular hit wonder. Personal tragedy and professional crisis converged, and John, still in his mid-20s, found himself submerged in loss and uncertainty. Yet through some inexplicable fortitude, he persevered. The 1980s proved challenging for John Travolta professionally, but on a personal level, he was slowly beginning to heal. By 1988, he felt ready to embrace love once more. While filming a movie titled The Experts, he encountered an actress named Kelly Preston. Kelly was strikingly beautiful, exceptionally talented, and possessed a warmth that John desperately needed after years of emotional turmoil. They connected instantly, and by 1991, they were married in a midnight ceremony in Paris. It was a romantic, hopeful occasion, signifying a fresh beginning for a man who had witnessed an abundance of darkness. John and Kelly were more than just spouses. They were partners, confidantes, a united front poised to establish a family together. In 1992, they welcomed their first child, a son they named Jet. 2 years later, their daughter Ella Blue arrived, and subsequently in 2010, another son, Benjamin, completed their family. On the surface, John Travolta possessed everything: a devoted wife, beautiful children, and a career that had experienced a remarkable resurgence, largely attributed to his critically acclaimed performance in Pulp Fiction. However, life still held further trials in store, and these arrived in a form John had never anticipated. Jet Travolta was born with autism and experienced seizure disorders. The family maintained a considerable degree of privacy regarding Jet's condition, addressing his unique needs away from the public eye. John and Kelly became profoundly dedicated parents, particularly to Jet, who required extensive care and constant supervision. John rarely ventured anywhere without his son, consistently including him in his activities, always keeping him close. Friends and neighbors in the Bahamas, where the family frequently vacationed, recall observing John and Jet together perpetually, their deep affection and connection evident to all. John was the archetypal father who would readily go to any length for his children, and Jet was the absolute center of his universe. On January 2, 2009, the Travolta family was on holiday in the Bahamas, celebrating the new year at their residence in the West End resort. Jet, then 16 years old, had a documented history of seizures, typically experiencing one every 5 to 10 days. The family had diligently implemented precautionary measures, employing 2 nannies and installing alarms on bathroom doors, undertaking every conceivable action to ensure Jet's safety. However, around 10:05 in the morning, one of the nannies alerted John and Kelly with news that would prove utterly devastating. Jet was discovered unresponsive on the bathroom floor. John rushed downstairs and immediately commenced administering CPR to his son. He fought valiantly to save him, employing every available resource, but alas, it was too late. Jet had suffered a seizure, struck his head on the bathtub, and the resulting injury proved fatal. At a mere 16 years of age, Jet Travolta was tragically lost. The family's legal representative later stated that John had never conceived of such an eventuality, that their bond was exceptionally close and profoundly special. To bury one's son is the most agonizing experience imaginable, he remarked. And John was heartbroken in a manner that words could scarcely convey. But the nightmare did not conclude there. In the somber aftermath of Jet's passing, an ambulance driver and a former Bahamian senator attempted to extort $25 million from John and Kelly. They threatened to disclose private information pertaining to Jet's death, seeking to profit from the family's immense tragedy. John provided testimony at a highly publicized trial, but ultimately the immense stress became an unbearable burden for the family, and he withdrew the case. The entirety of this ordeal imposed additional layers of trauma upon an already insufferable situation. In 2010, Kelly gave birth to Benjamin, and John informed reporters that the infant had imbued their home with a renewed sense of spirit. They were slowly healing, discovering avenues to honor Jet's memory. While moving forward, John established the Jet Travolta Foundation, dedicated to assisting children with special needs. However, even as they painstakingly rebuilt their lives, even as moments of joy began to re-emerge, cancer lay in wait in the shadows, poised to strike once more. In 2018, Kelly Preston received news that must have felt like a cruel twist of fate, a morbid echo of the past. She was diagnosed with breast cancer, the identical disease that had claimed Diana Hyland and Helen Travolta decades prior. For John, this must have felt like an ongoing nightmare, a deeply unjust repetition of history. But Kelly made a choice that speaks volumes about her character and her unwavering desire to protect her loved ones. She maintained her diagnosis in almost complete secrecy. She issued no public statements, did not share her struggle on social media platforms, and did not seek sympathy or undue attention. Instead, she engaged in a quiet battle, undergoing treatment at the MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston, recognized as one of the premier cancer treatment facilities globally. For 2 years, Kelly underwent a rigorous regimen of chemotherapy, radiation, and any other therapies her medical team recommended. She continued to work when her health permitted, appearing alongside John in the 2018 film Gotti, where she portrayed Victoria Gotti to his John Gotti. This would prove to be her final cinematic performance, though at the time, no one was aware of this impending reality. Following the premiere of Gotti, Kelly essentially vanished from public view. No more red carpet appearances, no more interviews, no more Instagram posts depicting a seemingly perfect family life. Those closely associated with the family sensed that something was amiss, yet Kelly's privacy was scrupulously respected. John watched as his wife confronted the identical adversary that had tragically taken his first love and his mother. He had experienced this ordeal twice before, understood its grim conclusion, yet harbored a flicker of hope that this time might yield a different outcome. Perhaps modern medicine had advanced sufficiently. Perhaps Kelly would be the one to conquer it. He offered unwavering support throughout her treatments, diligently cared for their children, and strived to maintain a semblance of normalcy in their lives. However, cancer remains indifferent to hope, to fairness, or to the cumulative suffering one has already endured. On July 12, 2020, Kelly Preston succumbed to her battle with breast cancer. She was 57 years old, departed far too soon, leaving behind John and their 2 children, Ella and Benjamin. John announced her passing on Instagram with a message that was both heart-wrenchingly poignant and imbued with immense dignity. He expressed gratitude to the medical staff at MD Anderson and extended thanks to their friends and loved ones who had provided steadfast support. He pledged to take time away to be present for his children, who had now lost their mother. The post was characterized by its simplicity, its raw honesty, embodying precisely what one would expect from an individual who had become an authority on the complex nature of grief. For John Travolta, this marked the 3rd occasion that breast cancer had cruelly claimed someone dear to him. Diana at 41, his mother at 66, and now Kelly at 57. 3 women spanning 3 separate decades, afflicted by the same devastating illness. When one adds Jet's tragic departure to this cumulative sorrow, the sheer magnitude of loss becomes almost incomprehensible. How does an individual navigate such profound devastation? How does one greet each new day knowing that cancer has cast a shadow over their life for over 4 decades? How can one place faith in love, in life, in the prospect of a future when so much has been irrevocably taken? In the months following Kelly's passing, John Travolta embarked on an unexpected path. He began to articulate his experiences with grief in a manner rarely observed among celebrities. In a series of interviews, he candidly shared the profound lessons he had gleaned from decades of relentless loss, and his words resonated deeply with millions who were themselves grappling with personal heartbreak. John explained that mourning is an intensely personal journey, that each individual's path through grief is unique. He had come to understand that one cannot expedite it, cannot force it, and cannot allow the sorrow of others to overshadow one's own processing. John admitted that following Kelly's death, he felt overwhelmed by the collective grief of those around him. While he deeply appreciated the outpouring of love and support, the sadness expressed by others sometimes felt more pronounced than his own, leaving him with insufficient space to truly engage in his own mourning. He recognized that the initial and most crucial step when experiencing profound grief is to seek an environment where one can process these emotions without external interference. Otherwise, he explained, it resembles 2 vessels sinking together, a scenario that benefits no one. His counsel was both straightforward and remarkably insightful. Permit individuals the space to traverse their grief. Do not complicate it with your own. For several years subsequent to Kelly's passing, friends reported that John was merely existing, going through the motions. He was diligently caring for Ella and Benjamin, but not truly living. The inherent spark that had defined him, that characteristic charisma and joy, seemed diminished by an unending succession of losses. He prioritized his children, assisting Ella in pursuing her acting aspirations, raising Benjamin, and ensuring their well-being. However, somewhere within the process of attending to their needs, John neglected to care for himself. And then a subtle shift occurred. By 2024, 4 years after Kelly's demise, John began exhibiting tangible signs of genuine healing. He accompanied Ella to the Paris Olympics, an impromptu excursion that encompassed opulent 5-star accommodations, world-class Michelin-star dining establishments, extensive museum tours, and captivating sporting events. Friends observed a discernible change in him, a lightness of spirit they had not witnessed in many years. He commenced traveling more frequently, embracing the pleasures of life and endeavoring to reclaim lost time. Those who knew him intimately asserted that the original John had returned, that he was finally prepared to wholeheartedly embrace living once more. John has not ceased to honor Kelly's memory. He posts heartfelt tributes on her birthday and on Mother's Day, ensuring her presence remains a cherished part of their lives while simultaneously forging ahead. He has learned to discuss the concept of death openly with Benjamin, helping his youngest son comprehend that grief is a natural human experience, but should not define one's entire existence. When Benjamin expressed a fear that John might also pass away, John gently elaborated on the distinctions, offering reassurance while maintaining an honest dialogue. This is a form of parenting born from lived experience, from having navigated loss on multiple occasions and acquiring the wisdom of survival. At 70 years of age, John Travolta finds himself in what he describes as a favorable emotional and physical state. He is traversing the globe, accomplishing objectives from his personal bucket list and exhibiting exceptional generosity with his time and resources. He pilots his own aircraft, orchestrates adventurous excursions for his children, and surrounds himself with companions who elicit laughter. He is not attempting to escape his grief, rather, he is consciously choosing to celebrate life while holding dear the memories of those he has lost. Kelly will perpetually be an integral component of his existence, he stated, but that does not preclude him from relishing life. And herein lies the profound lesson John is imparting to all of us, that life can indeed persist beyond devastating loss, that it is possible to honor the departed while simultaneously embracing joy. John Travolta's narrative transcends mere tragedy, though he has undeniably experienced an abundance of it. It delves into something more profound, something that speaks to the very core of human resilience. This is an individual who has lost 3 women he loved deeply to the same disease, breast cancer, witnessed the sudden passing of his teenage son, endured an attempted extortion during his most profound period of despair, and yet still discovered the fortitude to persevere. Most individuals would falter under a fraction of such an immense burden. But John did not succumb. He yielded. He fractured. He spent years painstakingly learning to breathe anew, but he ultimately survived. What renders John's journey so compelling is his profound willingness to be vulnerable about his experiences. In an industry that frequently demands an image of flawlessness and unyielding strength, John has offered a refreshingly candid perspective on grief, on struggle, and on the often messy reality of loss. He has demonstrated that it is perfectly acceptable to not feel entirely well, that the process of healing is not linear, and that each person's trajectory through darkness is distinct. His openness has provided solace to countless individuals grappling with their own adversities, making them feel less isolated, less broken, and more understood. There is something profoundly moving in observing John Travolta rediscover joy at the age of 70. After all that cancer has claimed from him, after the agonizing experience of burying his son, after decades steeped in heartbreak, he has made the conscious choice to live life to its fullest. He is embarking on travels with his children, creating new memories, allowing himself the grace to smile, to laugh, and to once again experience the inherent beauty of the world. This does not imply that he has forgotten Diana, or his mother, or Kelly, or Jet. This signifies his profound respect for them, his unwavering determination, and a powerful testament that affection transcends sorrow. It demonstrates that existence perseveres even when hope seems extinguished. John once expressed a poignant wish. Should he face his end the next day, his final sight would be of those around him enveloped in profound sorrow. This profound understanding, forged through immeasurable suffering, offers a precious gift to us all. It grants us the liberty to mourn deeply, yet not eternally, to cherish memories with affection, yet without obsession, and to progress onward, unburdened by guilt. Life not only continues for those who conquer the disease, but also for us who remain when it claims someone dear. The narrative of John Travolta unequivocally proves the remarkable fortitude of the human spirit, a resilience often underestimated. How does his experience reshape our perspectives on sorrow, on absence, on overcoming adversity? Do you concur with his approach to remembrance, that it is an intensely personal process, unique to each individual? Have you or someone close to you grappled with comparable struggles against cancer? How did you find the fortitude to persevere when circumstances felt insurmountable? Kindly share your experiences in the designated section below. Let us cultivate a sanctuary for mutual encouragement through life's most arduous passages. And if John Travolta's account resonated with you, if his steadfastness inspired you, if you believe in the significance of engaging in these vital dialogues, I kindly request a simple action. Click the like button and subscribe to this channel. We are cultivating a collective here, one that confronts challenging subjects head-on, that acknowledges genuine hardships and the triumph of survival. Because accounts like John's hold immense value. They serve as a potent reminder that we are not isolated in our struggles, that grief is a shared human experience, and that optimism is perpetually attainable, even in the aftermath of profound devastation. John Travolta continues to dance, to soar, to embrace life, and that, in essence, represents the most beautiful conclusion imaginable.